to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
Man, where y'all been? Hey, thank y'all for joining us tonight on the Big BoneYard. I feel like it's been a month and a half, but I guess it ain't been that long. But anyway, hey, welcome back to the Big BoneYard, y'all. Everybody, I see Nicole. I'm seeing Nicole Beaker, the Lord's finest. All right, that's a new one, but I'm digging that though. All right, Trouble, we see you over there, Trouble. Man, it's good to see y'all. But hey, well, welcome back to the Big BoneYard. You got, as per usual, you got myself, Big Bone 1%er, and you got the man, the myth, the AV Diamonds Effect, damn Archbishop. That's my man. What up, though? What up, though? So I know this is gonna be a shock to y'all, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. But truth is, we've been riding motorcycles like a lot, and having a good time. Because remember, we live in Florida, so we get to do shit like that. I know some of y'all cats, and I feel for you. I feel for you. Somebody, there's another bishop. Oh, yo, Freedom. I see Freedom out there. What's up, Freedom? But yeah, up north, which I slid up north for a little bit over the holidays, and it's cold. It's getting real cold up there. So I feel for y'all. But thank God we don't have that affliction here in Florida. But in the meantime, man, it's been a minute. How you been, man?
Man, I'm good. You know, they say ain't no point in complaining because don't nobody give a shit anyway. So with that being said, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I mean, wasn't too bad. I mean, I ended up having to work, of course, but other than that, everything else was good. How was your Thanksgiving, by the way? You was out of town.
Man, look, yo, all right. It was a good time. Shout out to Virginia. And you know, because of course, you know, well, both of us used to live up there at one point or another, but it was real cool, man. Just pounded the ground, got all over the place, got realized that thank God for GPS, because your memory don't mean shit when you ain't when you ain't been to a place in a minute. There's like nothing that look. Some of the roads are the same names, but then they got a whole bunch of extra roads, and it's just crazy. But it was a really good time. Did the family thing, which was, hey, shout out to my sisters. I know you're watching. My one sister, you know about her, Alita. She watches the show every week, and she's a image consultant and a what do you call it? A image consultant and a financial planner and a da 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 da. And, you know, she helps people get their stuff right or whatever. Anyway, so she chewed me up one side, down the other, told me all the good stuff about the show, and told me everywhere I was fucking up. And I think I'm kind of ugly, and possibly I look like half a crackhead, I believe is what she said. So I need to like tighten my shirt. I told you about that, right? So
yeah, it could be a whole crackhead. Had to be a half one.
It had to be a half of one. Yeah, like you need to clean it up, and you know the thing like that. I said, well, you know, says I'm a biker. I'm a biker. Yeah, but that's not. There's biker chic. Do biker chic anyway. Anyway, but no, it was straight though, man. It was a really good time. It was a really good time. You know, and anytime spending time with the family, especially when you ain't seen them for a minute, is straight. Oh, all right, Miami, Bishop. All right, okay, all right, right on. But I'll tell you what though. One thing, I think this show that we're doing tonight is definitely going to be interesting kind of a show, because it's something, you know, because a lot of times we talk about biker shit, right? And matter of fact, let me see if I can find that joint. Let me see. All right. So the description that we was doing for tonight, right, is this. So the name of the show is The Civil War or New Jack City. So I was trying to make sure. So here's what we got. So when you join your club, you knew it was forever. You knew it was forever. And then the real shit kind of kicked in. You know, real life kicked in. So some of your brothers are starting to feel more like your cousins. And those rides that you used to love to do, couldn't wait to do them, now they have to be mandatory in order for you to even think about showing up. But some of those guys over there, that other club and stuff like that, they seem like they having all the fun just like you used to have. So what to do? What to do? All right, that's what we're talking about tonight. We're going to find that out. We're going to really delve into that a little bit tonight because there's an interesting phenomenon that's kind of happening nowadays. And what it is, the thing that's going on is, and it's been happening forever. And a lot of y'all know, especially if you're in the club life, you know about this. That you start with a club or you see a certain club, and all of a sudden somebody's like, I'm sick of that club. I want to go somewhere else. Sometimes a few fellas go with them. Sometimes they want to make a whole new club. So what does that mean? What does that look like? How does that work? So that's kind of like what we're talking about. So what does that mean? How does that work? Blah, blah, blah. So that's what we're going to really delve into tonight on the Big Boneyard. And so getting it started, matter of fact, and also we do have a guest that's coming. I guess he ain't here. Let me take a look, see where the hell our guest is. But because that's a different thing as far as our guest is concerned. But I want to. Where are you? Question mark. Bring your ass. Wait, can we say that to people? That's we can say that, right? Okay. But anyway, so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we even get into that, we should probably do what we always do, and that's a disclaimer, and that's basically explaining that while realistically, I love my organization. AB loves his organization. We all love our organizations, but the words that we're speaking, what we're talking about, this is our opinions only. They do not reflect the opinions of any of our respective organizations. But having said that, again, that's us. That's only us. Doesn't reflect anybody or any organization other than ourselves. And in the meantime, I got a. Oh, damn. There he is.
I'm here.
That's what's up. Ladies and gentlemen, Risky.
How you doing, Big Bone?
Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you, man.
What's going on, Risky? How you been, brother? How was your holiday?
Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving.
Pretty good. How was yours?
It was not bad, except for this rain and cold. It doesn't feel like Florida, but that's all right.
Well, see, mine was horrible, and you would have known that had you been here. All right, I lied. All right, I ain't lying no more. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all what we doing all this screaming, hollering, and applause for Risky coming on. But first of all, Risky, thank you for being here. And a more proper introduction would be Risky is a lot of different things. You got to help us out with some of that. So one of the things, Risky is he's a chair, or as you were, he's a secretary in our COC.
Yep.
And does a seriously fantastic freaking job. I got it in the back of my head, the whole thing will fall the frick apart if he wasn't a part of what he's doing. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that dead ass serious. So Risky's a huge part of the COC and keeps that machine moving. But along with that, there's also the NCOC, which that was a bear of a thing. But Risky's also our rep in the NCOC, that's the National COC, and also on the PR board, public relations board, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
You got any time? Does your wife hate you for this shit?
She didn't see me much, so we're okay.
And need to say, I didn't even mention your position in the club because I don't know if you're at liberty to discuss that or not, but but then there's the club stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I'm pretty tuned in with a lot of stuff that goes on, and the state of Florida is kind of my domain, but I also help out in other areas of the country where I can. So it keeps me busy. I put a lot of miles on. And then I'm also, our club, in order to be in the club, you got to be a Freemason. So, we're all Freemasons, and look, there you go. And a part of the Freemason thing, there's a bunch of extra appendant bodies outside of that you can join. A lot of people don't know, like Shriners are Freemasons. You have to be a Freemason in order to be a Shriner. So, all those TVs commercials you see about the Shriners Hospital and all that stuff. All those guys are all Freemasons as well. So we got a bunch of different bodies around that too. So all of that stuff keeps me busy.
Yeah, man. You seriously jumped through a lot of hoops, man. And the funny thing about it is there's a huge number of folks that really appreciate it and depend on you to do what you do. And that's the thing is, every time I talk, so on total sidebar, y'all, but every time I talk to Risky, man, this dude is up. I mean, I ain't caught you sleeping once. I never called and you was just waking up or something like that. Every time I talk to you, you're doing some shit or going somewhere or just finished doing something in between the next thing that you're getting ready to do. And I'm like, how the hell does that work? Because you got a lot of gray hair too. And I'm trying to figure that out. It's like, it's a secret drink, or is it the bike? I don't even want to talk about the bike.
The bike helps a lot. I mean, the bike makes it really easy for me to do what I do.
I'm prejudiced.
He does have a nice ass bike, though. He does have a nice bike.
That bike is just ridiculous. It's like first time I ever felt a little bit jealous in my whole life, but I couldn't go all the way there because it's something other than a Harley. See, so therefore,
when I seen that it had cooled your ass, I was sold.
I'm like, what kind of hocus pocus voodoo shit is this? Where you ride a bike and it can warm it up or cool it down?
And you know what I think is awesome? I think it's awesome that you guys are all excited about a stock motorcycle. I mean, it's not even it's not even souped up.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Anyway, but I tell you what, hey, so we're gonna get to
I don't care about the extras.
Yeah. Look, let me tell you that. Yeah,
you get to a point in life, it's more about comfort than it is about looks.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially, now, just what I said about that seat. Now think about that. It cools your ass as you ride, aka, which means no swamp ass. That is non-existent on his bike. I love that.
Swamp ass.
That's a big deal in Florida.
Look, it's like many a biker for many a year. That's the fix of it.
Right.
But I wanted to tell y'all we're definitely going to get to the subject about the Civil War or New Jack City. We're going to talk about that tonight. But we wanted to put some attention on something that Risky's got going on. And in fact, I got a really cool flyer here, which y'all probably can't see, but it's up on the Big BoneYard's Facebook page. I'm going to try to show y'all her. Let me see if this will work. This is what you call low tech. Go like that. If y'all can see some of that. Wait a minute, like that. It's Miles for Smiles. And if you can, brother, tell us a little bit about it.
So for those that can't see the flyer that you just held up to the camera, there's a website. They can go to milesforspecialsmiles.com, and it has the information about what we're doing. So one of the appendant bodies that I'm a part of in Masonry is the Grotto, and I'm a member here at the local one here in Plant City, Zenda Grotto. And what I'm set up this year to do as a charity is I'm going to leave August 2nd from Plant City, and I'm going to drive from here to Anchorage, Alaska, and back on my motorcycle, 10,800 miles. And I'm doing it for our charity, the Humanitarian Foundation, which provides free dental care for special needs kids.
Is that milesforspecialsmiles.com?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I just put it on there.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm throwing it up on the no, but go ahead. I'm sorry, as you were saying. So what made you come up with the idea to do this? I mean, because you're a biker, and bikers are horrible people. Everybody knows that.
Right. Well, it started out, I just wanted to do something fun that was going to be able to raise money for the cause that I wanted to raise money for. Anytime you can include a couple of things that you enjoy together and turn it into a charity where it's doing good for the community, it's a win-win. A couple of the other things that I found along the way in setting the thing up is it works out good because it turns out to be something to put Freemasonry into the community. I mean, people learn that Masons do more than just old guys that go to meetings and tell secrets and keep minutes of their meetings and stuff. It
Water buffalo lodge.
That's right. That's right. It brings Zenda Grotto, which is the appendant body, to a lot of people because not everybody in masonry knows about Grotto. So it gives us an opportunity that we can get out there and let people know about Grotto. So those things all kind of come along with the fact that we're able to raise money for the charity.
So you're starting in Florida?
We're starting in Plant City. We're going to leave from Plant City in the morning. I talked to the Channel 13 News, the local Fox News. They're going to do a kickoff for us in the morning. They're going to show up and have some people come and do a little story about everything when we head out. We're going to leave that morning. Our route takes us up to Hoover, Alabama for our first stop. Our second stop is in Indiana. Our third stop is in Chicago. Fourth stop is in Duluth, Minnesota. And then we're in Canada. We go up to Winnipeg. So we're going to travel across Canada to get to Anchorage. And then on the way back, we're going to drop down into Washington and come kind of diagonal across the United States.
So there's no way you can avoid Canada. Like, couldn't you go the long way around or something like that?
No, you still got to go through Canada. If you're going to stay on the motorcycle, then you got to go through Canada.
This isn't just an excuse to go to Canada, is it?
No. I got brothers up there that are going to put me up for a couple of nights. So
okay,
right. I don't mind going to Canada.
Well, look, you got to keep us in the loop as to like the when and the where. We'll keep putting it out on the big BoneYard. They'll let everybody know when you're leaving, so maybe some folks can show up that morning to see you off. But also, it would help if you had some dough, like because contributions, because Miles for Smiles are folks that are going to sponsor you along the way as well, because this is going to raise money for these kids.
That's right. If they go on that website, there's an area on there where you can see there's several different ways that you can do donations. We have regular donations for people that just want to be able to kick in what they can, 10, 15 bucks, anything helps. Right. Or there's a sponsorship area. We're still taking sponsorships. Sponsorship levels are shown on there and shows all the different things that you can get for the different sponsorship levels. There's a level where you get your name on a banner that we're going to carry from city to city as we go up and get people to sign along the way. And then the third level is actually sponsor a rider. Right now, I've got 3 riders that are committed to go. Out of the 3 that are committed to go, I think I've got probably 2 or 3 others that are going to go with us that are going to make the entire trip. So the sponsor of the rider is kind of the top of the donation, the sponsorship amount. It's like $6,500, I think, for the sponsor a rider, and it covers the rider's fuel, lodging, food for the entire trip.
Okay, shit. Well, can I go?
You're not the first person to ask that. Right, what's it take for me to go? Come on.
I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking. But I don't know. My bike's just a Harley. I don't know. Might not want to do it. All right, we'll figure it out. But I tell you what, if y'all have the opportunity, please definitely take some time out of your day, even if it's just go check out the website. If you can help out, definitely do. Anything will help. But along with that, share it with some other folks, because maybe if you don't have it, somebody else might. All of us know a lot of folks. So
right now we're in the mode of get out as many places that we can get it out. We want as many people to know as we can get to know. The donations, I mean, we can wait till it gets a little bit closer to really start pushing for donations, but we need publicity. We really need a lot of people to know what's going on and kind of get everybody on board, because when it gets closer to, we're having a kickoff party. I think it's March 16th or 17th. I can give you info as it gets closer. We're going to kind of do 2. We're going to do a sponsorship kickoff party during the day on Saturday, but then we're going to do a biker kickoff party Friday night where we'll be able to have a lot of the local people come down and hang out and
Right on.
bring your bikes and stuff and get to know who we are and what we're doing, and give you a peek in behind the curtain, let you know what.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. Matter of fact, speaking of which, somebody who just came back from doing that same exact trip, I don't know. Well, I won't say same exact because Freedom, he's a brother out of Pennsylvania. I know earlier this year he did that ride, and I see he's telling you watch out for the gravel in Canada. I don't know where in Canada he's talking about because Canada's a big ass country. But speaking of which, Freedom, if you're still watching, where exactly in Canada are you talking about? And where did you, when you left, where did you leave from? And he'll let us know.
I don't imagine the riding in Canada is gonna. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to be terribly different from the riding that I did. Most of my riding when I first got started was riding in West Virginia. So riding in West Virginia, we're always watching for gravel in the road, washing out of driveways and stuff like that. So it's snaky and turny, and you always got to watch out for animals. And of course, moose are a little bit bigger than deer to hit.
So are you ready for the weather though?
Yeah. So we're going August 2nd. So right now the average low temperature is like 50. So it'll be like the worst winter we have here in Florida.
Okay.
But
all right. So
I'll be prepared.
Okay. Well, yeah. And then with that Transformer motorcycle you got, that thing will probably turn into a cage every now and then. Like if it get too bad, you hit a button.
Now look,
a Corvette or something.
That cooling seat I can turn on to a heated seat, so we'll be all right.
Right, he's
killing me with this bike.
Your grips warm up too, don't you?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you're just showing off.
Look, you brought it up.
All right, I did. So, all right. So, Freedom says Washington State through British Columbia up to Alaska. Okay,
right.
That's what he's talking about. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, brother. Hang in there with us. We're definitely going to talk about this some more in just a little bit. But I guess we'll go ahead and delve into what the hell this Civil War situation is we're talking about. Now, this might be interesting to you too. I don't know if you caught the earlier part of what we were talking about, but basically, it's and this came up because the subject keeps coming up, and a lot of folks have asked about it. Well, how do you do this? What about this? What about the other thing? So we're having a lot of conversation actually over the past several years. And that's this. Let's say you're in a club, whether you're a new guy, maybe you've been in that club for 10, 15 years, right? But for some reason or another, there's that Civil War. Here's where this group of guys, 1, 2, 4 of them, whatever, is feeling like the direction of the club, and this is the way some of them explain it. The direction of the club is not the direction that we want to go in. That's not what I signed up for, or things have changed, or any of that kind of stuff. And they want out. And they leave the club. But they don't just leave the club. They say, it's 4 of us. There's another couple of guys. Let's start a new club. Now, of course, the option always is there to sit your ass down for a while, 6 months, a year, proper protocol and all that, and then join one of the clubs on the set. That's always an option. I always suggest that to folks. But no, for some reason, these guys, they want to start their own club. And that happens, all over the country. That happens where we want to leave. So, and this conversation can go in 15 different directions. But having said that, AB, what do you think just basically on that subject right there?
What about them wanting to join other clubs? Yeah, they do that all the time.
Well, either or. Starting those guys that's leaving, because you can't tell them they can't leave. You know what I mean? It's not the friggin' mafia.
Right.
Whereas, it's not, right? No? Okay. All right. So it's not the mafia. So you want to leave the club, you can leave the club. And that's a whole other subject too. How are you leaving the club? Are you leaving on good terms? Or are you out bad? Or everything's straight and you just want out? But so the question is, starting a new club or joining a club on the set? Let's start there.
Okay. Well, you would be better off joining a club that's already established. Reason being is that you don't have to go through all the hurdles and the rigmarole as starting fresh. having to go through and go through your coalition and being blessed in by a dominant, and all the money that you're spending to make cuts and all that other jazz. You know what I mean? It's a lot. Like starting a club really isn't a free thing to do. You know what I mean? You're gonna come out your pocket quite a bit. You know what I mean? And that's only if you get accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you do have them ones who who tried anyway. They make up some stuff, put it on, and they ride around a little bit. They wait to get caught to see if somebody gonna say something to them. And if not, then they feel that they good. But just remember, even if it's 1 day or 6 months or 3 years, if the right person see it, they gonna come at you if you ain't doing it right anyway. So the hiding part ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
with
let's say.
the
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
with the if you joining a new club,
Mm-hmm.
it's some stuff that needs to be done there too, because that club that's even entertaining you needs to contact your old club to find out about you. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
some of them just take somebody just for the simple fact of taking them. You know what I mean? Because they want numbers. Actually pure legit club that's actually on their shit. They're gonna call that other club and find out if this person in good standing. Is
That's the
he out
first thing
bad?
they're supposed to
What
do.
kind of
First thing.
person is he somebody that should be over here? You know what I mean? Is there gonna be an issue with your club with him being over here? You know what I mean? Because sometimes people leave clubs, but they don't tell the other club exactly the reason why they left. You know what I mean? They don't, and this other club don't realize that this dude done burn a lot of bridges before he took off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's some hard feelings over here. You know what I mean? And by you joining this other club and them not doing their proper investigation to find out, see, now you done put somebody else in harm's way.
Well,
You know what I
see,
mean?
that goes back to that original stuff. Well, first of all, are they out good? Are they out bad? That new club, and because this is where the breakdown and the watering down of the set happens, when you got a club like you just said it, they just want numbers. Well, I don't give a damn. So if y'all are listening, if you in a club and the situation arises, somebody new, and they've been on the set for a little bit, do your due diligence. Investigate, find out why they are coming to your club, especially if they were in another club. How long ago did they leave that club? Was it 2 weeks ago? 10 days ago? Was it 2 years ago? 2 years
Yesterday,
ago? That's a different conversation than it was yesterday.
they still in the club. They just want to go check their options out before they lay their rags down. They want to
Oh
make
yeah.
sure they come
Oh
over here
yeah.
first before they give their shit up.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we always kind of figured it was it's about a year. It should be about a year.
Yeah.
You need about a year cool down period. I guess every club is a little bit different, but you got to respect the set. I mean, you got to give the proper respect to the other MCs that are out there and let them. We all have to kind of play by the same rules if we're going to treat each other the same with the same respect when we get out there. So
That's a fact. And what happens is those folks that aren't doing it the right way, it always comes back. Because what happens is those people, let's say that your club picks up some dude who left his club, a month ago under questionable circumstances. Nobody even investigated it. And for some reason, y'all bring him into that club. He probies for 20 minutes, and now he's got your patch on. And now this new club finds out that he's just a complete piece of shit. Nothing but trouble, drama, bullshit, and yada, 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 all the bad stuff, right? You could avoid that whole entire thing by finding out that this is his 5th club in 2 years just by making a phone call. So not following protocol for the accepting club is just as bad as him not following protocol leaving the club. But and that's a whole other thing. But let's go back to the idea. Let's say for purposes of our conversation, let's say that these cats got together and they started this new club, right? They started this new club. What does that mean for, because let's say you left that club and you had a falling out with a few of them, maybe a couple of ones that were in the, the top 3 or something. You had a falling out with them. You leave the club, but you was cool with a lot of them guys. They was your brothers, helped you out in hard times. You helped them out. Y'all rode miles and miles and 1,000 miles together and all this kind of stuff. And that's your brother, but you're leaving the club. Y'all still cool now? How does that work? What if y'all, if your new club say, hey, we don't like those guys because those guys used to be us and da-da-da-da-da. What does that mean? Are y'all still cool? Or are you not still cool? What's the rule?
I don't think there really is I don't think there really is a quote quote rule to that.
Right.
So my thing is this. Now, if you were in my club and you left, for whatever reason you left, okay? That doesn't affect my friendship towards you. Now, if it was, granted, our conversation is gonna change because it's stuff that we used to talk about that we can't talk about no more. But if you was an actual friend of mine, we didn't talk about club shit all the time anyway. We actually had other things that we talked about. This was some extra, so that right there didn't even matter. Now, you would think that if they joined the club and as members of their club and say, oh, I don't like those guys, blah 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 blah. You would think, being a grown man, that you can make your own decisions. You know what I mean? And
You would think.
that should have been something that you should have asked prior to you joining. You know what I mean? Because they know where you came from. So usually, if they knew where you came from, somebody along the way is going to make it known whether they don't like somebody over there or not. You know what I mean?
I think you're really putting that guy's going to be in a tough spot that went to the new club anyway, because excuse me, I think the new club is already in a position where they're trying to establish themselves in a situation that's already been established. I mean, they're trying to work themselves in with a bunch of clubs that have already been there for 10, 15, 20 years. And so they're already fighting an uphill battle, and they got a new guy that has connections with the old club and might try to leverage some of those old connections to be able to make the new club a little bit easier. It just turns into really hard because you're going to have to separate at some point. You're going to have to get those two apart, and it's difficult to keep them separate and still be talking to the guys at the other club.
Yeah. What if now, and this is a thing that happens. I saw a guy leave a club. All right, fuck it. Let me say it like I mean it. So this guy I know, years ago, I was in a different club and the whole thing. Anyway, this one guy left a club that I was extremely cool with, and he went to their club that they weren't exactly in love with. They didn't get along at all. He called me and said, hey, I want you to come over here and join this club that we all used to hate. I don't hate him no more, but I'm over here and it's great. Come on over here. I'll tell you what my thing was. What I did was I was so traumatized. I was so upset about the fact that he did this. I quit talking to him. I mean, hadn't talked to him since. That was 13 years ago. Not a word. Seen him a couple of times out in the road. Nothing. But that's because of my I got that Marine Corps shit in me. I stick to my lane, I stick to my team, and da 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 da. But there's been other occasions whereas somebody did whatever they did. It didn't affect my club relationships per se. They went from here to over there. No harm, no foul. So it's all of these different variables to consider when you're going from when you're making that change, or if you make that change. But having said that, so let's say, the guys break away, they start a new club, and we're assuming they're going to be in the same town. What about that guy who leaves his club to start this new club, and then they want chapters in other cities? They want to go to another city because they know a guy here, and they know a guy in that city, and they know a guy in that other state, and a guy up north and down south, over east and over west. How does that work? Because now you're talking about 4 or 5 different COCs 4 or 5 different Doms.
Well,
Yeah.
not only COC, you got to realize like each state is different.
Mm-hmm.
So every state has their own set of laws when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So um, you can go to one state and go through, the coalition or whatever will give you a backing or whatever you be able to go in. You know what I mean? You may be good with a dominant there that will pull some strings and get you there. Both of them is a chance that you could take. Now, but you do have some states where it's like, I don't give a damn who you know, it's a no. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's just what it is. And it's not because of that club individually. It's because that particular state already got a shitload of clubs there already. They
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of clubs that's in existence there that their numbers done dwindled down to where they're barely even hanging on. So so when you have those 99 clubs like that, and they all complaining because of membership stuff like that, but who do they complain to? Your dominance. Well, now your dominance is like, okay, but we're not gonna let nobody else in the state. If you want to come in here, then you got to join one of these other clubs. You know what I mean? Because why are we
Right.
gonna keep bringing these new clubs in, new club in when we already got 40 clubs over here that's struggling already? You know what I
Right.
mean? So
And
what
you
are
got to
y'all doing
know.
special to just make you come in here? No,
Right.
no,
Now
you
you
ain't
got to
coming.
know that's also, unfortunately, in my opinion, very geographical, because I was mentioning I forget, it was either state COC or something, but if you go to California, man, it's 1,000 clubs. You can't go 5 minutes in any direction without running into a completely different freaking club. And a third of these people have on diamonds. Like they're handing them out like cookies. And a lot of these cats have never left the state. And the few that do, let me say this, let me clean myself up. So, and some that do leave California and go other places, find out that they're not in La La Land no more. Things don't go the way that they expected. They don't get the warm, friendly hugs like they were expecting, because California is California, And
Right.
then there's what's another state that has like 1 million clubs? New York City, in New York, the whole state of New York. It's a bunch of clubs. I mean, like, which for those of us in the South, we think that's insane, right? Because here, like, Florida is a very traditional biker state. Like there's protocol, and fortunately, for the most part, folks stick to it. And even for those that don't stick to it, somebody's gonna get at them and educate them when they drop the ball a little something, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later, but it's coming, right? But yeah, some of these states, man, it don't matter. It's like you could be in 5 different clubs in 5 different months, and it won't even nobody will even notice, because it's 9 million clubs out there. So that's some of that stuff. Speaking of which, anybody listening to this, if you're in one of those sort of communities, I ain't telling you how to do what you do. If that works for you, great. But that's not what this is. That's not what this is. If you're a real biker, really on the set, and you really follow tradition and protocol, then you ain't trying to be in 15 different clubs, and you're not trying to be on a set where there's 9 million clubs. The thing is, we used to say, hey, a lot of great families out there, go join one. Somebody needs a brother, somebody needs a sister, somebody needs an uncle. Get in where you fit in, as opposed to, and a lot of times when it comes to these new cats, they're setting up new clubs and they don't know anything about, like the people they bring on. There might be one guy who's been in a club or 2 or 5 or 10 because he's club hopping, and use that to kind of parlay it into getting these other cats who don't know nothing about clubs. And now you got a bunch of guys who don't know anything about the set following another guy who really don't know anything about the set because he's been club hopping.
Well, we had a situation here. Well, it's not really a situation. I was chatting with the guy that they started a new chapter of a club that's a national club. I won't say who it is, but they started a new chapter here local, and the chapter they started, 5 or 6 guys all patched in because they're like the beginnings of the chapter. So they're all patched when they first get started. Well, you know, one of my guys that was a that was a prospect. You know, you don't get your full patch. You get a part of your cover, but not all of it. So,
Right.
you know, he said something to that guy and said, "Well, hey, you know, what's going on? Why aren't you a member of such and such club? Why don't you have your patch on?" He said, "No, I don't do that." Well, one, I don't wear it if I'm not with a full patch brother, and two, our club doesn't work like that. You got to earn it. You're around for a year before you earn it. We don't just give it away.
Exactly.
So I'm concerned, and I try to watch out for guys because, you know, they're on the set now wearing a full patch, multi-piece patch that could cause problems, and nobody in the group has any idea. You know, they haven't talked to anybody. They haven't gone out to chat with anybody. I mean, they're just flying blind, and it's just a terrible place to be.
But it sounds like, unless I heard you wrong, it sounds like y'all are that group is following protocol. Why would they do that? They're following protocol, sticking to some tradition and shit.
No.
Okay.
Look, we have to, because if we don't, we don't get to play with everybody else.
Right. No, I feel you, man. But you know what though? Yeah. But you know what? The other thing is, which we didn't really delve into it, but so national clubs, a national club that came from a whole other national club, because that happens too. Well, you'll have the same issue of a certain club, and a lot of different folks are feeling it in different chapters. Let's say this club they believe in Christmas trees, and Christmas trees are their thing, right? And every chapter of that club has some guys that I don't really like Christmas trees. I'm more of a turkey, Thanksgiving kind of a guy. So everybody is with that Thanksgiving stuff. Man, let's leave. Now they all leave at the same time in 10 different states, and they say, hey, we're going to be the Turkey Boys MC, right? They're the Turkey Boys MC now. Guess what? The Turkey Boys MC, even though there are a whole bunch of them in 10 different states, guess what they got to do? Just what AB just said. All of that. So, and I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm not suggesting it's impossible or even a bad idea to do per se, because under certain circumstances, that's just, that's the way of the set. There are certain things that, the set doesn't say no new clubs ever. It says that you should take the steps to do it properly and invest
the right way.
Yeah, cross your T's, dot your I's, do your homework, do your due diligence. And that means everybody, even on, even the receiving club or the receiving set. And y'all
because if you really done your...
Say again?
But if you really actually done your homework prior to... Can you hear me on it?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
You hear me on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying that if these guys have really done their homework prior to deciding they were going to start a new club, then they would have known about these other clubs as basically non-existent. I mean, because think about it. You can take a club that's already existing that had maybe 2 members left in the damn club before it was basically gone. You know what I mean? I mean, technically, by right, it's already gone because you only got 2 members, but they still there. You know what I mean? You can basically bring that club up from the ashes. You know what I mean? And it would be a new club to you. You know what I mean? But you already got some root there. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you coming in, scratching and trying to kiss everybody's ass to try to get in, and you trying to, be fake as fuck until they say that you can come here, and then you're gonna switch up. You know what I mean? Like we already know you're gonna do that. But let's give them a little pop quiz here now, because most of these new clubs, the first thing that they try to do, okay, they get their one little chapter going, and then they want to start branching out. Okay,
right.
Some of them will try to branch out within the first year. Mind you, they don't know what the fuck going on, but of course they trying to branch out. Why? Because they want to be national. That's what they do. Of course, there's a difference between national and being a national and a nation. But we'll talk about that later on. It's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Anyway, but you go through and you get a couple chapters in a couple other little states, and you kind of bounce around, and you don't get the major states. You get the ones that they know that they can get in real quick. That ain't nobody really paying attention. So you'll get one in fucking Iowa or South Dakota, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like somewhere way out that ain't nobody really paying attention to.
Right.
And then you pop up, and now you a national. Now, but think about it. If you just open up them little chapters there, and let's say, just to be considered a national, pop quiz, Bone, and I know you know this. How
Yeah.
many states do you need in order to be considered national?
A national. It's 5 clubs, 5 clubs, 5 states for a minimum of 5 years.
Right. Okay. So now, if each of them only had just the ballpark number of people, so basically you can have 25 people and be considered national officers.
Club.
I mean, and actually have national officers with 25 people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Now, I know several clubs is like that.
Yeah, I know a couple.
They walk around and they got this huge national patch on their back. That's some
Yeah.
bitch about that big, about like big 4-inch letters. Just national.
Yeah.
And you go to them and you be like, man, where you chapter? And you be like, yeah, I got a chapter over in, what was it? It was one place.
Sasquatch, Wyoming.
Like
Yeah.
it was in Illinois, but it was like, what was it? It was like way the fuck out. It was like literally on the line between Missouri and Illinois. It was like, but it was like way up. It was like way up. And I actually went up there because I didn't believe that they had a clubhouse there.
Right.
And I went there, and they did. They had a clubhouse there in this little town. It did not even have a street light. It had a 4-way caution light. That was it. You didn't even see, like you seen the little sign that said that you was coming into the town, and you kind of like went through it, got to the stop sign, look, kept going, you back in the woods.
the entering the town and leaving the town was on the same sign.
Right. You can sit at the sign and piss on the other side of town, which was on. But that's what a lot of them do, though. You know what I mean? Like I literally, I didn't believe it until I went up there and seen it myself. But they literally had this particular chapter that they needed in order for him to be considered a national officer. He started this chapter up in this boondock fucking town there was literally nobody fucking there. Not a gas station, not nothing. It was literally like 7 little buildings, a 4-way stop, in the woods. That was it. And this clubhouse that sat on the left side of the 4-way crossing. It was just a little bitty shack that sat there. You know what I mean?
Technically, that qualified.
It did. But I'm just talking. I'm laughing.
You said that.
Did you went through.
Did you get how much pain you said it did? That was great pain that came out of you.
Right.
To admit it. But yo, I'll tell you, I was with this club many years ago, and I hate to even say it, but their national president used to always have these meetings, and they had a national board. But here's the funny thing about that. This certain club, they had like 10 chapters in the state of Florida. They had 3 or 4 guys in the north, up north a little bit, and outside of Florida, and they had like 1 or 2 members on the West Coast. They said that qualified them as being a national club. Now, I'm a probie in this club. So I happen to say to a couple of the officers in my chapter, hey, I noticed you guys like to say national this and national that, and your national so-and-so and so-and-so. yeah, we're a strong nation. I'm like, oh, you're a nation now. You're a nation now. And I've been on the set a long time, right? So even I was in this club, I knew what was what. I'm like, so I asked the question, well, where are all these other states and all these other chapters? Well, we got 2 or 3 members on the West Coast, like Vegas and stuff. Got 3 or 4 in such and such a state, and one guy will be moving to Colorado. We're a national club. No shit. Like, so when I, shared my concern a little bit more enthusiastically, they're like, look, you want to get patched or not? So I'm like, okay, that's a nice way of saying shut the fuck up and just ignore this bullshit. So for the record, I turned my patch in on the day I was supposed to cross because it was too fucking ridiculous. But I say all that to say this is that, some cats are, and I get it, they want to grow, they want to be, slap them titles on there and everything like that. But here's the thing, I don't want to be a part of a club or organization or anything else that just skirts around the, if you just patch chasing and, you're looking for all this glory and all this other kind of stuff. Nah, I'm not with that. I mean, the value to me is putting in the work, like the legit time. That's what's respected. You know what I mean? Like we talk about gray beards all the time. You hear a lot of the old cats talk about gray beards. This shit didn't come by accident. It's not gray, it's chrome, really, from riding, from doing all them miles, right? But in real life, man, it's like I wouldn't be in an organization that wouldn't make me proby, right? I don't give a fuck who I am. If I come to that club and they ain't like, hey, you got to give us 30, 60, 90 a year, something. If I don't have to invest something in that club, like as in time, like my ass spending some time doing some stuff, earning it, then that's telling me that club ain't worth a damn. So like them clubs that just say, come on over here, oh, we can't wait for you to get here, sign here, here's your patch. Nah, I ain't with that. I'm not with that at all. That's a bunch of bull. Bernie Mac said that's some bull like that.
we run into
bullshit. That part.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, I love that kid. Oh yeah, he tells it like it is.
With us being Masons and having to be a Mason first, it really limits our. It doesn't limit. It changes the pool of guys that we pull from. So, for us, we're a little more selective because we've already put that filter on before guys even come in.
Hell yeah.
There are a lot of. There's a few Masonic motorcycle clubs out there, and they all run by different rules and do different stuff. And
right.
There's been a lot that I'm surprised they haven't had more issues on the set than what they had, because there's a lot of guys that are just you send your $250 and they mail you your stuff, and it doesn't even really matter where you're at, and you sew your stuff on your back and you're good to go. And
yeah.
It's just it's definitely different.
Yeah, and we don't have to talk about it here, but I'll bet you in some of those circumstances, some of them cats was trying to get a refund later on because they weren't, or I'm pretty sure some of those areas where the fella got that got his nice patches in the mail, sewed them on, and wasn't able to keep them.
Right. So they go to the flea market and buy that shit, man. I'm gonna tell you this story right here. And this is God. I swear this is a true story. So I'm at this party, and I see these guys pull up, and they get out. One was on a bike, the rest of them was in a cage, and they got out, and I'm just sitting there on my bike, just watching them as they come through, and they got these bright white vests on. That's what caught my attention. Like, man, I ain't never seen nobody with a bright white vest on.
Oh yeah.
So they walk by, and when they walk by, you know how you turn and just kind of look at the back. And it was a picture of a rabbit with the fangs hanging out. It was a rabbit. And the name of the club was Ramblin' Rabbits. That was the name of the club. Ramblin' Rabbits. In red. Okay, it was a red damn rabbit head with the, and they walked through, and they was walking.
Shit.
They walked in, and nobody said nothing. Not a soul said nothing. Now, this party was packed. Everybody was there. Okay, when I say everybody was there, everybody was there. Nobody said nothing. I'm still sitting out. So I walk in, I'm looking around, and they walking around dapping people up and everything. People dapping them up. Hey, bro, how you doing? This, that, and third. Man, I know goddamn well y'all don't know who these people are.
Right,
You know?
right.
So I'm sitting outside, and they come back out. One of the guys come back out, and I said, hey, bro, come here, let me holler at you. And he walked over, and he was like, yeah, bro, how can I do? You know, when they shake my hand, I'm like, man, we don't got to do all that. I just got to put scratch for you. What's that? Where y'all come from? And he was like, we from here. You are? You from here? Yeah. How long y'all been here? And he was like, oh, well, we just been here for a couple months. Okay. So you in the coalition? No. And I said, so who blessed you? Who blessed us? He said, well, we go to the bike blessing. I said, no, I don't mean the bike blessing. I mean, who blessed you? I mean, like, who gave you permission to be here? Oh, well, nobody. We just, I said, so where you get your cuts from? He was like, my cuts, your vest. Where you get your vest from? Oh, at the flea market. At the flea market. He was like, yeah, there's a lady up there. You tell her what you want. She makes it up on the computer, and boom, she puts it on, and the whole job. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, so y'all rambling rabbits, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, so you know how rabbits ramble? You know how they do that? And he was like, yeah. I said, well, guess what? Y'all about to fucking find out how to do it.
That
You don't
part.
take the motherfucking rags off. You don't take
That part. Shit.
Man, so I walk in and I wrangle everybody up. You know what I mean? And I tell them like listen, man, I don't know who the fuck told y'all to come here, but y'all can't come here, man. You damn sure can't come here and that, man. Take that shit off. Put that shit in the back of your car
Man.
and go home. Like don't never come back out with that shit on again. Like never. Like don't never come out here again with that. The guy was like, well, man, you know, it's just a group of us. We just hang out and we wear these on the weekends. I'm like, yeah. Okay, so why you got this on it and why you got that on it?
Right.
And
So
you
multi-piece patches?
yes, and they even had a
Bottom
red and
rockers?
white, they had a red and white diamond.
Oh,
It had, you know what I mean? It had like it was a red and white diamond with this fucking rabbit head with the fangs sticking out the bitch. That's like I said, there's certain shit that caught my attention. I'm looking like, hey, who the fuck are these people? Hey, who the fuck are these people, man? But then come to find out, they got these rags from the flea market. The little lady at the flea market made this shit for them, and they've been just rocking around. But the sad thing about it was that out of all these clubs that was there, like I said, this place was packed.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said shit.
but you know what? Look, let me tell you. I've had that happen before, and I know why that is. Because, okay, well, I'm trying to censor myself a little bit, but there's certain of us that's what we do. And those ones that do that, they have a tendency to pay attention to that kind of stuff well before they put on any jewelry, if you know what I'm saying. Because you want shit to be the right way. Because I've seen cats with no jewelry, no diamond, no nothing, say, hey, what are you doing? Are you supposed to be doing that? Well, I don't want you to do that. You know, and so that's like a real thing. And I've seen it before, and to be real honest with you, I kind of appreciate it because it keeps our shit from getting watered down. It really does. And but okay, I'll tell you this one. Nah, no, I ain't. Never mind. No, the statute of limitations and everything. I can't. Never mind. I caught myself. My attorney, Jerry T, is going to be calling me, going, "What are you doing?" That's my criminal attorney. Then Fran's our other attorney, you know. But anyway, So never mind. As you were saying, this is all your fault, Risky.
Sorry.
Risky. We used to talking about all kinds of crazy shit. I get comfortable and
Look,
relax.
you're right. I'm smart enough to be quiet while you guys are talking.
Hey, you know what though? We actually did have a great question. This was from Mike House. Asked. He says, "Question: What if they have tattoos from the old club when they start a new club?" That is a good question. And I'll tell you. Now, see, and I hate to do the double talk on this one. Here's what happens. I'll tell you what can happen. And I'll tell you the way it's supposed to go, and because you got a couple little variables, right? If the old club, which I don't see this happening a lot, but if the old club is perfectly okay with him keeping that because he earned it properly during the club, because in most clubs you can't just start slapping on tattoos. There's certain things that go along with why it is that you can, rules as to how you can get a tattoo and so on and so forth. And
time limits before you can get them and stuff.
Right. There's rules to it. But let's say that he met those rules when he was in the club. Some clubs might be, hey, go with God. You're out, this, that, and other thing, da, 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 da. Might not have even known he was entertaining the idea of going to a new club, so the subject never came up. Some clubs have specific rules. If you go to a new club, or if you're out bad, or if you leave the club, any number of things, they say, hey, that tattoo, that's club property as well. Now, how a club collects their property, because the patch belongs to the club. How they collect that is going to vary based on who owns that property. I was in a club a lot of years ago where there was a guy who got put out bad. He was given 30 days to cover that shit up, change it, and the generosity of the club, hey, we was going to do that for free. We had a relationship with a tattoo place. They was going to do it, wasn't even going to cost them no money. 2 months later, he walked in, because we had a nightclub at the time. So he walked into the nightclub, which is also the other side was the clubhouse. He strolled up on in there. It's Florida, so it's hot. He had on short sleeves. So we seen the shit sticking out the side. It's actually a PO. So like, what the hell? She came back snitching. Statute of limitations. Long story short, in certain circumstances like that, the individual is given, and this is on the unpleasant side. And one of the few things I saw in Sons of Anarchy that was halfway accurate, and that was they gave the cat in those circumstances, the guy can be given a choice, fire or knife, because we gave you all the time you needed to take care of that, and was even going to pay for it, basically. Like in hypothetically speaking. Can I hypothetically after the fact? Yeah, I think I can. But long story short, a club will take their property back in certain circumstances. So how about this? Don't go get no tattoos if you're thinking that, hey, you ain't gonna be there for a minute. Because some cats just get all kinds of stupid ass tattoos, Daffy Duck or friggin', a dolphin kissing a whale's ass or some shit like that. People get crazy tattoos. If you one of them crazy tattoo people, don't get no club tattoos if you don't understand. Now that shit.
Who are you talking about? Tattoos?
No. Hey, don't make me. All right, I'm lying. I don't got shit. But you know what I'm saying though? That's the thing. You got to think about that. Now you got Risky has about what 17.5 pounds of ink. If you like was the way it's about 17.5 pounds of ink.
I just hadn't started my neck or my head yet. I'm working on it.
It's coming though, ain't it? See, but now here's the difference. Risky can fight, so you go fucking with him about the tattoos, you might have a situation your damn self. There's that situation. There's that problem.
Let me ask you this, Risky.
Yes, sir.
So being the fact that you in a Masonic MC club, now, is there restrictions on certain tattoos that you cannot get based on your obligation?
I never even thought of that.
You see what I'm talking about, though?
I do. And
Okay.
He did the secret handshake over the phone, y'all.
I think if you are a Mason and follow the code and obligation of Mason, then there are things that you probably will not tattoo on your body. And I don't think it has anything to do with the club. As far
Well,
as
I was meaning that. I mean, like I was meaning it more or less like, okay, so like all the members that's in your particular club
Mhm.
are Masons, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I was asking that is that being the fact, like, okay, when you as a Mason, there is certain things that you cannot put on your body. Do
Right.
they hold to the same standard in the club? Like, you know what I mean? Because even though you may be in the club, you was here first. So in order for you to be here, you had to be here. So would that still apply?
Yeah, and I think it's because the club is stricter than the Mason. The being a Freemason is the first part, and it has restriction already. So if you're following the restriction of Masonry as far as what you would put on your body, it's going to be the same when it comes into the club because we're all Masons in the club. So it wouldn't be. It's not really stricter. We have some rules and regulations about how long you have to be a full patch member of the club before you can get a club tattoo and that kind of stuff. But as far as stuff that would be restricted for Masonry, we wouldn't be any stricter than what Masonry is. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So here's one. Here's a question from Clinton Lund. It says, question, Archbishop touched on this on this. Typically, what does protocol say about who enforces protocol? Example, a 1%er takes issue with a 99%er club, a 99% elder club enforcing protocol like with the rabbit guys. So let me see if I understand that properly. What does protocol say about who enforces protocol? A 1%er takes issue with a 99 elder club enforcement. Okay. So, and I hate to say this, but it's just so accurate. It depends. What I mean by that is when I say it depends, I mean it's geographical. As in California, clearly they do it very differently than we do on the East Coast, and for damn sure than we do it in Florida, because Florida is a real 24/7 like real life biker state. You know, we are into this shit, right? So in a state like Florida, and remember, elder clubs are, they've been here for a minute. They're typically, it's not that they're grandfathered in, they were here before the granddaddies got here in most cases, So elder clubs are exempt from certain things. But by the same token, elder clubs have a tendency to stay in their lane. The reason that elder clubs are respected in the fashion in which they do, and they do what they do, and they don't jump through certain hoops and all this other stuff, is because they stay in their lane. So it's usually not a thing. That's not something that comes up. However, and I can speak for what I assume would happen in Florida, and this is a blanket kind of a thing. Again, it still breaks down to who's AO, but typically, if a elder club was to say, hey, let me get y'all right, a conversation is one thing. If they elect to do something more than that, then that becomes my business. And if it's my business, my next question is going to be, why are you, elder club, getting in my business? Conversation is one thing. Other stuff is other stuff. But I don't know if that's really giving you the answer that you're looking for, because, just based on the information that you're sharing, we didn't get a who, what, when, or where. So I don't imagine you can do that, Clinton. But what say you, Archbishop?
Well, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes it does happen where you have an elder club that tells these other clubs what to do. and that happens when, give you an example. Let's say you had an elder club that was in this particular area, and the nearest dominant was 2 hours away.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's a good
Okay,
example. That's a
so
good example.
they would go to them simply because they know that they're one of the oldest clubs that was there. Now, what gets you in trouble is that the elder clubs would find themselves granting permission to be in areas that they should not be given permission to. Now, you are a elder club because you know what I mean, because of the tenure of the club. That does not give you domain rights. That does not give you permission to give somebody domain rights. You know what I mean? That's when you got to communicate with the other ones and be like, hey, you know what I mean? I don't know whether y'all to talk to these guys or not, but they over here, you know what I mean? You want me to send them your way or whatever? You know what I mean? So you can be that liaison in that area because nobody else is there. But you don't call no shots in that area.
Right.
So I think I think another thing that you need to think about is or that people need to understand is the set is not made up of 1%. I mean, there's a lot of 1% in the set, but the set is everybody that's out there that's playing by the rule. It's 1% and 99s that are out there. So if you're a 99 and you're doing the stuff that you're supposed to do and you're following protocol and doing all the things that you're supposed to do in your community, then you should have already made those connections with the 1% in your area. You should have already made those connections with the dominants and the different guys, whether they're elder or not elder. Your job is to make sure that everybody out there on the set understands who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Hey, let's take a second. If y'all are watching, I hope you are. If y'all are watching, take a second, do us a solid, hit the like button, hit the share button, share this show with some damn body, because somebody's gonna, the stuff that we're talking about tonight, and yeah, we're just chopping it up. As always, we're chopping it up, but somebody's gonna need to hear some of the stuff we're talking about. And you don't even necessarily even know who needs to hear this, because the guy that's thinking about bouncing, might not have told you yet. And hey, maybe he's gonna watch this and reconsider. I don't know. You know, Archbishop be saying that shit. I don't know. No, I'm just playing. No, but look, real talk though. Hit the like, the share, and the comments. We definitely love that. And if you haven't subscribed, you need to go ahead and do that shit right quick, because we ain't gonna be here all night. We gonna leave in a minute.
But
anyway,
I see Clinton just said a helpful conversation is cool. A helpful conversation is absolutely cool. I mean, you can't do anything bad by having a healthy conversation with somebody.
Yeah. And that's actually, we did a show on just that subject. And in fact, we probably should revisit it, because a lot of folks that we're seeing, they're hesitant. You know, they'll put together a club and then they'll stand in, like, you ever gone to a big bike night and you've seen the same guys there every single week, and they don't speak to anybody other than the 4 or 5 guys they came with, even though people go, hey, how you doing? Like this. Oh, you got to talk to some folks. Especially if you're establishing yourself on the set, at the very least, well, one, showing up. That's the big thing. You show up. Some folks are going to talk to you. Some folks are going to want to know who you are, what you're about, and all like that. But the other thing is, figure out who's who, start interacting with people. That's why obviously I'm biased, full disclosure. I'm a huge proponent of getting involved in your councils. Definitely talk to your COC. Even different COCs have different rules. So even if you're not qualified to join the COC, participate in whatever the hell they got going on until you are. You know,
well,
they should look forward to you.
Some of the states even have a separate COC just for the 99s.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. They a number of the dominants have councils. You know, there's a lot of councils of 99s and support clubs and you know, like national club, all kinds of stuff. So get involved in that stuff if you're not. And if you're doing one of these new club things, your first stop better be to somebody's council and somebody's dominant. You know who's AO you're in, and make sure you get with them. You know, that avoids so much. So like what Clinton said, you know, a helpful conversation is definitely cool. But other than that, I know we've been at it for 1 hour and 16 minutes, and I'm hoping that folks really got something out of this. I see we had a lot of folks here. Before you leave tonight, make sure you hit the like button, hit share, hit subscribe, all that stuff if you hadn't done it already. But I wanted to take a minute to tell Risky, brother, listen, tell us again. Let me see if I can put this back up. But I want you to just recap a little bit for us about what we were talking about as far as Miles for Smiles. Milesforspecialsmiles.com. So www.milesforspecialsmiles.com. And just hit us with a recap, brother.
Yep. So I also have a Facebook site you can find by looking for the same thing, Miles for Special Smiles. It's on Facebook. I post a bunch of updates there when I'm doing the trip. I'll do some live feeds while I'm on the trip. I'm using my Cyber Monday deal thing, whatever, and getting a GoPro that I can mount on the bike. So I plan on doing some video and stuff as we're traveling. If you go on the website, you'll be able to actually track us on the website. There's a live track on there that follows us with I forget the name of the app. But anyway, so all the info is there. I'm going from Plant City, Florida to Anchorage, Alaska and back. It's 10,800 miles. And I'm doing it to provide dental care for special needs kids.
So is there a way, I know that
I'm not taking you with me.
Well, okay, if you're not going to take me with you, maybe you could get on the Big BoneYard's Facebook page and actually post not just the website. Well, actually, I think I posted the website. That's already up there. We got the website, the flyers and that. But you mentioned that you actually have a Facebook page. Go on there, hit the Facebook group, throw that out there, and so that folks can kind of get plugged in, see what the happenings is, and then once you get going, actually follow you and me as we're doing this. And
I'd like to I'd like to be able to so the trip is going to be starting August 2nd, and it'll finish August 25th or 28th or something. I forget the exact date that it ends. But there's several weeks in there, so I can certainly dial you up along the route and let you know what's happening and shoot you some photos or something. And I'd love to be able to be plugged in with the channel and let guys know what's going on and see what it's all about.
Right on. That's what's up. So Risky, brother, we appreciate you greatly for joining in on the conversation tonight and helping us out with, and thank you for sharing the word about Miles for Special Smiles. So again, it's it's scrolling on the screen, www.milesforspecialsmiles.com. So, and AB put it in the comments, so you can hit that as well. So you can go to it and you can hit it up like right now, or not right now, like wait till we finish,
And before I leave, I am going to complain at you. You told me to put some rouge on. I think I'm a little too rougey.
You look very pretty. Wife did a great job.
Look, I never realized how pink I was until I was on your channel.
Here's the funny thing. See, in Florida, you're not supposed to be pink. You're supposed to be red because it's the sun, like that. But see, AB turned me on to some special shit. There's a button on here. It's like a make my ass.
Oh, you got the filter happening.
Now, I don't know if it's a filter, but I'm telling you, and this is because actually, see, I'm about 627 years old, but with this button, I look like I'm back in high school again. Well, I look like the guy who used to go to high school, who wasn't actually in high school, who used to do, and the police would get called on him. I look like the creeper guy at high school.
The 20-year-old that was still hanging around.
Right. The guy like, do you have kids?
20-year-old still want to go to the parties and shit.
Yeah, right. That guy. Like, excuse me, sir, do you go to this high school? No. Anyway, but I tell you what, but Risky, for real, man, thank you for being here tonight. And AB, what, if anything, would you say to these folks before we leave, brother?
Well, first of all, like always, appreciate everybody for coming out, listening. You know what I mean? Like I said, we've been away for 2 weeks, wasn't it? 2 weeks we was away.
Yeah. Well, we did a couple of
rerun show, and then last week we was gone. So
yeah.
So it's been 2 weeks. So
yep.
Kind of missed y'all. So
Yeah, man, me too.
but we working on some stuff. I mean, if y'all see on the bottom here, you see that it doesn't say AB Diamonds anymore. That's because we working on this show thing, this new show. So we doing the BoneYard and we doing this new show. This new show is gonna be called the Diamond Effect. So the ones that hasn't came on and subscribed on that, go on YouTube, the Diamond Effect. Hit that, hit the subscribe button. Now we're gonna be that show there is gonna launch here within the next couple weeks. We got a couple little things that's getting straightened out, getting the intro and all that little jazz cleaned up, and then after that we're gonna hit that bitch running. And it's gonna be we're gonna leave all the motorcycle stuff on the BoneYard, and we're gonna put everything else that we've been wanting to talk about, all the stuff that like everything,
All
everything.
the stuff, say it like you mean it. All the stuff that you're not supposed to talk about at Thanksgiving dinner. All the shit you're not supposed to talk about. What's that? Religion, politics. We do that here too, though. But what is that? All the shit that makes people fight. All of that.
Yeah. We talk about everything.
Religion and politics.
Yeah, right.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna talk about
stuff, yeah.
too much. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Now that's a whole thing right there. We can go on for days with that one.
You got a black mama, so you can't do that too much.
Well, no,
rest in peace.
Like we can. I mean, like we ain't gonna have a show to say, okay, so being the fact that you in church and you paying tithes, does the church have that little portal like at the bank where they put the money in there and it shoots it up to heaven or something? You know what I mean? So does God get that? Does he get that?
Like what is his, no, really though, what is his cut? I got a question on religion. Seriously, how come? So like every time I'll go to a church, I was in Virginia, right? I went to a church, they had a building fund, and that was in like 1985, and they had a building fund for the roof. They was going to get a new roof. I went by that same church. The church was packed on Sunday. It was the same damn roof. I'm beginning to question the building fund is all I'm saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. But I saw the pastor was driving a beautiful Porsche Panamera. I don't know. Maybe the funds got diverted. I don't know.
Maybe the funds went to God and he was able to put his hands of protection over the church so they didn't need that roof anymore.
Now that makes sense. See, that makes sense. I'm saying, I think.
But he didn't tell him that, though. He didn't tell him that. They'll go, Reverend Ike still got that Bentley. He got a jet, an airplane. He got a jet, a regular airplane, a helicopter, 4 hoes, and a dog.
And look, I'll tell you, here's the funny thing about it, and I'm not even joking about this. So a lot of these man, we ain't supposed to do religion, but all right, I got to do it. All right, so no kidding. So it's a lot of these pastors and televangelists, this real, this shady to say the damn least. But the only one that I can think of straight up, I mean, not Joel Osteen, not a lot, the one who's actually squared away for real, his last name is Dollar. Now, I swear to God, Creflo Dollar. Creflo is like, he's doing stuff for the community and da. He's married to the same chick. He's not, he's like doing all the right stuff. And I'm tripping because his name is Creflo Dollar, but yet he's not the scumbag. He's the good guy. I'm like, it's got a questionable name.
Now, but, he was the one. He was the one that got on TV and said that God told him that he needed a jet and told him the exact jet that he needed to get. You do know that, right? That he needed so many $1 million to get his jet.
Well, you do know that God told me that I need a 2024 Road Glide. Did he? I think. Well, somebody told me that. It might have been God. I'm not sure.
You got a jet?
No.
Where that? Where that though? Where that though?
All right. Are you sure?
Right. That way.
Hey, if it was really God, it might have been an Indian, not a Road Glide.
Mhm.
Oh,
And see,
oh,
and
ouch,
exactly. That part right there. You know what? And he got it. Like I said, man, they sitting up there, they selling what they say. I'm selling seeds. They dropping
Oh
seeds.
no,
You know,
that was Ernest Angley. Remember
right.
from
Trying to
Akron,
sell the
Ohio.
little bottles of water that said it was holy water, knowing that they had the people had the Sunday school kids in the back room filling the bottles up out the sink. You know?
Do y'all remember this cat? His name was Ernest Angley. He was from he used to talk like this, Akron, Ohio, and he had like this crazy big toupee, and
Mhm.
he used to say all that kind of stuff. And then this dude he was a man. Look, that wasn't water. That was snake oil he was selling, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, I tell you what. Look, it's like Bishop said, it's been a couple of weeks. We definitely missed talking to y'all and doing this thing and chopping it up and all like that. But we're gonna be back in another 7 days, and just really appreciate it. Check out the Big BoneYard. We always on there talking about different stuff and posting different stuff and all like that, right? So, but be looking out for anything related to Miles for Special Smiles.com, and definitely, if you can help out, help out. If you can't, share that information with somebody who can. Put that information out on this show. Like, subscribe, share, get this thing going for us. We got a lot of good stuff coming up here this next month and in the new year. Oh boy, it's gonna get good. But in the meantime, I'm Big Bone 1%er, and I'm getting ready to get out of here. Archbishop,
Guys.
on behalf of Archbishop and Risky, we appreciate y'all being with us, man.
Thanks a lot for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Right on. We're out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Welcome to the Big BoneYard. Enter at your own risk.
Do a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.